Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I hope you all are doing good and I hope your interviews are going really well. So since the interview was going, I thought of sharing with you some important Excel formulas which will help you if you're going for interviews in banking and financial services industry like uh, Anand Rathi, M- Motilal Oswal or Money Control or like mm, Bajaj Finance and in investment banking organizations. And so, yeah, so this kind of organizations, if you're going for and like if the role is around like business finance, then this kind of formulas, it's very helpful to know because you will not be limited there to only VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and pivot table. So as you can see in the screen that how do we calculate EMI through the use of Excel formulas, IRR, CAGR, PV, FB. We will learn that today. So yeah, let's begin. So I know you all are very means you know all the formulas, means you know all the concepts of this. I will not be discussing more on the concepts. I will be discussing about how with the help of formulas you can do that. I know that you can do it with the help of like a NVT formula like P1 plus I whole to the power n like this, but that is not the concern. That is like a too much negative marks if you're using those kind of things while finding out the answer in the help with the means in the front of interviewer. So what you will be more interested at whether you know all the formulas or not. So we'll go one by one. So this is the first question, like what is the future value of 30 lakhs rupees, which is compounded at 6% per annum for 30 years. So how do you calculate that? So one basic way will be like 30 lakhs, 30 lakhs, yes, into 1.06 to the power 30. So it's around 1.72 crores. Yeah. But again, as I showed, this kind of techniques will not work in the time of interview. They are basically testing whether you know the formulas or not. So we will be using the formula of future value in this case because you need to understand, you need to calculate what is the amount invested today, what will be the future value of the same. So future value formula FB bracket open. The first thing which it is asking for is a rate. So rate will be 6% in this case. So 6%. Mind you, this rate we have to use for like if the rate, what is the frequency of investing or how is the investing happening? Like this is a one-time investment. So we are using a per year rate. In case the investment is quarterly, you have to use a quarterly rate. In case the investment is every month, you have to use a monthly rate. Okay. Similarly, the second, you will understand it more in details in the subsequent questions which we'll be solving. Okay. So the second part is N per. So what is the number of periods for which the investment is being made? So here the period is 30 years, so we'll write 30. So again, if you are making a quarterly investment, it will be total number of quarters. If you are making a monthly investment, it will be the number of months. Okay. Second, PMT. So PMT is something that what is the monthly investing you are doing. So in this case, we are not doing any monthly investment. It is a one-time lump sum investment. So in our case, the PMT will be zero. Next, what is the present value? So what is the amount you are investing? So it is 30 lakhs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah. And by default, it always tells that the cash flows will be made in the end of the period, means the payments will be made. So it always takes, if you do not give zero, it will always take zero. And if you have to change it to one, you can make it two. So yeah, so the answer is coming to 1.72 crores. I hope this was the easiest stuff for you to know. And so use this formula next time. Start developing a habit of using the formula rather than this thing, because this is how means if you are asked in an interview such kind of questions, you will be able to answer through. So the second question is what amount to be invested today to get 4 crores at 8% per annum for 30 years. So the right now the question has changed. Now in this case, there is a 8% return. The period is 30 years and the amount which will be getting will be 4 crores. Then what amount we do we invest today? So what is the present value? So how do we do? We'll use here the formula of present value. There we knew that what was the amount which we'll be investing and what is the value of that they were asking. Here they're asking that in order to get 4 crore rupees, what is the amount You need to invest today. So again, rate 8%. Again, because it is not quarter, monthly, one-time investment, that's why for an year rate, if it is quarter, monthly, you have to use that. Similarly, for number of periods also, so it's like 30 years. So 30, we are not making any monthly investment, so the PMT will be zero, and future value will be 4 crores. So I'm writing future value, see, in positive because it is the amount which we'll be getting. Any outflow will write in negative, any inflow will write in positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as it, I'm just putting the bracket because by default it will always take 0. So yeah. So if you spend, means invest 39 lakh rupees, 40 lakh rupees at the end of 30 years, the value will be 4 crores. This is the answer to it. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question is, I hope you are understanding how do you use present value, how do you use future value, right? So the next question is, what amount to be invested per month for 15 years to get 4%. Okay, let me do two more things here itself, or rather, I will do it next time. So, what amount to be invested per month for 15 years to get 4 crore compounded at 8%? Okay, now the question has changed here. Here, the question was, what was the amount to be invested today? One lump sum amount, so that you get 4 crores after 30 years. Here, it is saying that what do you invest per month. So per month there will be an outflow, so that after 15 years at an 8% per annum rate, which is compounded monthly, the amount will become 4 crores. So how do we calculate that? In this case, because it is asking for monthly outflows, okay. So the formula we'll use is PMT. PMT. Now, simple thing, the rate is 8%, but in this case, as we are, the word is monthly, so we need to divide it by 12. Second is number of periods. Again, we are making a monthly investments for 15 years. So 15 years into 12. So these are the number of monthly installments we'll be making. Okay. So do we know the present value? We do not know any present value, or we do means we are not doing. So we need to calculate what is the monthly. So present value in this case sometimes is used. So this function is used. Suppose you want 4 crores rupee, 4 crore. Okay. Now you want to calculate that how much do I invest today per month to get that 4 crore rupees. So in that case, this will be kept zero. But suppose you know that you want 4 crore rupees and you are ready to invest 1 lakh rupees, suppose, as a lump sum investment. Okay. So you are saying that 1 lakh I will invest right now, and tell me, you're asking or you're calculating that what apart from the 1 lakh investment you did lump sum, how much do you invest regularly monthly? So in that case, I would have put in the present value 1 lakh rupees. But since I'm not investing anything right now, uh, I will be only investing monthly. So I'm putting here 0. And the future value is obviously 4 crores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, and by default, as I told you, it is always end of the period. So yeah, 1,15,000 rupees. If we invest today, 1,50,000 rupees, 1,15,000 rupees today, and for 15 years at an 8% per annum compounded monthly interest rate, it will turn out to be 4 crores at the end of 15 years. Okay. Now, similarly, suppose as I told you, suppose I had, suppose 50,000 rupees, like apart from 1 lakh or like 1 lakh rupees, I had 1 lakh rupees as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is an outflow, so I'm writing it in minus. So 1 lakh rupees also I have. So I will invest 1 lakh rupees uh, as a lump sum, and then what is the monthly which is I am required to make. So the amount got lowered down from 1,15,000 which you are saying, now it came to 1,14,000, right? So that is where present value needs to be put. If you have something which you want to invest as a lump sum at the time of making the financial plan. Okay. Now, one more use of this formula. So PMT is used to calculate two things. One is a series, what will be a series of cash outflow for achieving a target. There, a PMT can be used. Second thing is, suppose you are getting a loan. Suppose you are buying a car or you are buying a house. Okay, and you are buying a house. So what is the per month EMI you have to pay? So in that case also PMT can be very PMT is used. I will show you how. Suppose let's take the same example. You have purchased a house for 4 crores, okay, which the bank has financed you for let's calculate it for 15 years only. The value will come a little high, and the bank is charging an interest rate of 8% per annum. Okay, so in that case, how do you calculate what is the? So in this case, PMT will be same. The rate will be 8% divided by 12. Number of periods will be again 15 into 12 month. So it will be number of periods. And in this case, you have to put present value. Okay. So present value will be, sorry, present value will be 4 crores because you are getting an inflow of 4 crore rupees right now. So 4 crores by the organization, by the banking organization paying for the house which you have purchased. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And future value will be 0. You're not getting anything in future. So in this case, the only difference I did it, I have taken 4 crore rupees as an inflow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So around 3,82,000 per month you have to pay. 3,82,000 per month, so that you are able to equal monthly installments for 15 years, so that you are able to repay your house loan back. So this is the EMI thing, and this is for like SIP thing. So this is an SIP for this is so PMT formula can be used in both ways. So and generally always remember PMT formula is used for calculating something. What is the series of investments to be made per month or per quarter, and because for a lump sum PV will do, right? So we already saw that in this above formula that 4 crore rupees if you require 40 lakh rupees, but for per month to calculate per month or per quarter we use PMT. And in that case, do check this formula, pause the video, zoom it, and understand what is the logic behind the formula. So in the first case I calculated that in order to make 4 crore rupees, and if you are making a 1 lakh rupees lump sum investment right now, how much more you have to pay every month, so that it becomes 4 crores at the end of 15 years. And in the second case I calculated that if somebody has given you a 4 crore loans, what is the monthly equal installments at an 8% interest rate you need to pay, so that you can close your loans. Okay, so I hope till here it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. What amount will we invest, what will be the amount if you invest 1 lakh every year for 5 years at the end of the period? So slightly different from the question we did above. In that question, you remember we had a one-time investment which we made, and we got a value that what will be it after 30 years. In this case, they have changed the question. They changed the question a little bit. It is like a periodic, every year we are making an investment. So the formula will be the same. You have to calculate the future value after a particular series of cash outflows. So future value, bracket open. Okay, so here rate is not given. Let's consider it as 8%. So 8%. So again, it is not a monthly investment. Again, it will have, if it will be like every month 1 lakh rupees we are investing, then I would have done 8% divided by 12. In this case, since it is not a monthly investment, I will do it like 8%, and number of periods will be 5. What is the PMT? So will I use PMT formula? Yes, PMT function, because I am doing something yearly period. So here the period is 1 lakh 5 times. So I will put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and present value. So present value I will use again, as I told you, like suppose I deposit apart from the 1 lakh monthly investments, I also give at the beginning of the year 5 lakh rupees or 1 lakh rupees. So in that case, I will put value. Since the question is not asking about that, I will not put any value here, and PV will be 0. And again, it is always by default the end of the period. So yeah, 5,86,000 it will turn out to be. So if you are investing, so here I'm just writing 8% I have taken. So if you are investing 1 lakh rupees every year at an 8% interest rate, after 5 years it turns out to be 5,86,000. Okay. So and similarly here the only, sorry, Here the only thing will be, it will not be the end of the period, it will be at the beginning of the year. So the cash flow outflow is not at the end, it is at the beginning. So future value, same 8%, number of periods is 5, PMT will be 1 lakh, 1 lakh will be the outflow, 1 2 3 4 5, and then present value is nothing, we are not doing anything as a lump sum. And then here beginning, the amount, obviously you understand that if you're investing something at the beginning, at y0, if you're investing something, if your cash first cash outflow is instead of y1 means at the end of the year, so the value will be on a higher side. So let us check whether the formula works or not. So yeah, so it is on a higher side, 6.33. So I'm just taking some few examples and trying to explain you what is happening. It's you drill down, calculate it the way you do in through the formulas 1 plus I and everything, and try to see, try to understand the concepts or try to understand the logic more accurate, so that you remember the formulas, and you means not more than remembering the formula, you understand the logic behind it. Okay, so this is how you go through. Now let us move to the next question. So I hope you are now able to use the formula future value, present value. So if even if it is like 1 lakh per month you are investing for 5 years, suppose in this case, just I'm just telling you, like future value, it is not instead of every year for 5 years, suppose it is every month. So in this case, future value 8% divided by 12. Okay, number of periods will be 12 into 5 years. So total 61 lakh rupees you will pay. Every month you will be paying 1 lakh rupees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not paying anything as a lump sum. So yeah, it will turn out to be 73 lakhs. So future value, present value, PMT. I hope you understood and you will be able to understand where how to use the PMT formula for calculating SIP and the EMI and future value and present value. Now, one more important question is like, if we invest 1 lakh rupees every year and get dash amount after 5 years, what is the return? So in this case, instead of dash amount, let us understand that suppose we get this amount only 586,660.10. This amount, if we get after 5 years, and what was the like here? Here we know that the rate was 8%. So let us calculate the rate. So basically, what I'm trying to calculate is that sorry. So every year it is like every year for 5 years you're investing. So 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees. There is a series of multiple cash outflows. I'm trying to calculate the IRR basically. So the formula here, I will not use the formula of IRR, and I do not need to make a table Y0, Y1, Y2, because the thing is that the cash, there are two things why I'm not using formula of IRR. The cash flows are equal, okay, and the cash flows are equal means like cash outflow is equal 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, and and also that cash flows are equal and the timing is also equal means every year. Okay, so here I will use the formula rate. So it's like calculating the compounded annual growth rate. So rate, number of periods, so number of periods will be 5 years. In case it is monthly, again as I told you, it will be the number of periods. So here 5 years. PMT, how much you are paying out every year? So it will be 1 lakh, 1 2 3 4 5. Present value, are you investing anything lump sum? No. What is the future value? Suppose, what was it? 586 something. It was like 586,660.10. Okay. So, sorry, 586,660.10. Okay. And type will be again 0 and then close. So see, 8%. So this is the formula of calculating the IRR or CAGR. This formula can only be used if the cash flows amount is equal. Okay. So it's like 1 lakh consistent every year, the cash outflow. And also, so either it can be one single cash outflow or it can be multiple cash outflows, but the amount is equal and the series of timing payment is also equal. Okay. So one more thing I will show you, like suppose rate. suppose number of periods 5 years. PMT, in this case, suppose we are not making any monthly payments. So PMT 0. We made a payment of present value. Like we you saw uh, the present value. So like I made a payment of 30 lakhs rupees. So 30 30 lakhs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So 30 lakhs. And instead of 5 years, I will do it like 30 years. So I made one time payment of 30 lakh rupees. And now the amount after 30 years, it has turned out to be, suppose, 1.73 crores. What you saw in the first sum. Okay, I'm just trying to see whether the date is coming correctly or not. So 1 crore 73 lakhs. So yeah, 1.73 lakhs. And then I'm closing because it by default. So yeah. So it is, so if you remember that sum, the first sum which we did at 6%, 30 lakh rupees at 6%, how much will be the amount? So it is, so that is what I calculated, that if you invest 30 lakh rupees for 30 years, okay. So how much will be the what is the rate of return which I'm getting? If I'm getting 1.72 and 30 lakhs I've invested, so what was my CAGR? So you saw how effective it is. You do not have to draw a cash outflow that Y0 it was 30 lakhs and then Y30 it was this, and then calculate the IRR. So you can use this formula rate, which will be very helpful for you. Now, where do you use the formula of IRR? Okay. So formula of IRR will be used in sums like this. So there is a Y0, there is a cash outflow of 1 lakh rupees, then Y1. So it's cash outflow, if you see, the time period of cash outflow is the same every year, but what is changing is the amount. In that case, that rate formula we cannot use, so we have to use formula of IRR here. So we'll just write IRR, and then what is the values? So 1 lakh rupees, there was outflow, and then 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, like this we received. So we got an IRR of 12%. So this is how IRR is calculated. Now there is one more thing, which is XIRR. So understand where do we use that also. So here, so IRR is used basically where the cash flows are periodically, means after it means the interval of cash flows are equal, only the amounts are changing. If the amounts are not in changing and the amount of cash flow is also same, cash outflow is also same, then we can use rate also, rate formula as well. So, but XIRR where will we use when there is a change in the timing of the cash flows, like 3 months, after 3 months you invested, again after 3 months you invested, again after 5 months you invested, again after 6 months you invested, and then you need to calculate. Okay, so like this is one typical thing I'm showing. Like the problem is similar, the numbers are almost similar. So first I there was an outflow of 1st April, but the 10,000 rupees we received was not on 1st April 2023, but on 1st May 2023. Similarly, the amount which is received 20,000 is again not on 1st April, it is on 1st June 2024. Okay. So in this kind of things, IRR formula will not be used, and we will use a formula which is XIRR, and it asks for values. So we'll put these values and then we'll put the dates. Okay. So the timing of cash flows are not equal. Okay. So yeah. So this is the percentage. So in the above case, it was coming around 12% because the timing of cash flows were equal. But here, if you see, the more days are passing, the cash flows are differing. So 1st August, 1st July, not and that here it was happening everything in the month of April. So the rate of return is comparatively a little lower than the above. Okay. So yeah, so these were the few things. So try applying these things as more as possible. Do change some numbers. Try to do monthly. Try to see any EMI calculator. Try your father or your family members have sometimes invested in a series of payment. Like there will be payments of 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh rupees for 5 years, and then for 5 years there will be nothing, and after after 5 years you will get a lump sum amount of like suppose 10 lakhs. Then what is the IRR which you are getting? Okay, so this kind of things, see practical some means questions. Okay, and try to calculate this kind of formulas. I hope I have covered most of the things, but in case not, I will come up with a new video. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed it. Do know these formulas. These formulas are really helpful, and that is how again you will be able to make a financial plan for yourself and create some. And it will be helpful for your interviews as well. Especially as I told you, what kind of sectors you need to. This kind of questions can be asked, so prepare well, and let me know if you face any difficulty. To connect me, you can always reach out. I will share the means to connect to me in the description section. And thank you for watching. Chalo.